Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again, and I am back. I was just thinking about how every time I bring a message, I try to share with you, the people, about how wonderful God's plan worked for you, even though you already feel that it's doing okay. But it's especially good for some people who are going through some trying situations. Those of you who are experiencing pain, let's put it this way, those of you who are living from paycheck to paycheck, barely making ends meet, those of you who don't have a job, those of you who are selling drugs, trying to make, or doing whatever you can to get some money, you should especially be glad for God's program that I bring to you. And you should be glad enough to go and vote for it by putting your name up there. You ain't got to be the best thing in the earth, but you got to be tired of pain. You got to be tired of going through these changes. That should be enough to qualify you putting your name on the ballot as the one that's going to help get rid of it, because you know the Republicans and the Democrats are not going to do it. And so what I'm basically saying is that all of you who are already on jobs that you love, you're blessed. You've been given a job that you love and you don't want to lose, and you don't have to. And those of you who are unemployed, like some of those positions, whatever your positions are, the new way of doing things will be set up in such a way that you can have a career of your own choosing. We only want people working in a job that is not a job, but a plaything. This is like at the playground. This is the way heavenliness is. With all that bully stuff is gone. We don't have to worry about any bullies. We know our objectives, we know our goals, and we got our positions on the team. And we love the role that we're going to play. We love the role we're playing. And in playing it, we all come out winners. We all come out winners because we're using each other as a team to go out into the wilderness, go out into the reserves, and take from the reserves what has been given to us to use as we see fit, and do the things as we have done, and additional new stuff. But I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, that aside from freeing you from the powers of the absence of love, we want to also we want to free you from any power except the power of God. We want you to trust in God and turn to God. And when we come together in God, whether we know it or not, all of our gifts and all of our abilities are connected together, whether we like it or not. As long as we're with God, everything is in order. And what we do is we fix all of the problems that we got because it's in God. It's easy to do. We get all the confusion out of the way. We know that no pain, no suffering. And so it's easy to understand that if all of the things that we have to qualify for living, every individual got it, need it, and all of the resources here, and everybody put a hand in doing it, look, that makes you honor. Isn't that simple enough to understand? It was made by your hands. When when a football team plays a game, when the Minnesota Vikings, let's say, play a team, and I mean, it's a good game. They always play good games. But when the other team beat the Minnesota Vikings, it was a team effort that beat the Minnesota Vikings. It wasn't the running back alone. It wasn't the quarterback alone. It wasn't the defense alone. It wasn't the offense alone. It was every party engaged, and the team won. Well, so when the team of humankind goes out into the stuff that God has presented and hid and made some visible and put stuff in their mind, and they come back with all this stuff, that's for the humankind. Now, you don't have to prostitute yourself for anyone. You don't have to sell drugs that kill anybody, anyone. The thing of it is, ladies and gentlemen, if people want to do whatever they want to do, if they want to do crack, that's their business. It's not the government's business. If a person want to blow their brains out, that's their business. That's not the government business. All we got to make sure is if a crackhead gets to the point that they need some help, the facilities are there to help them. If somebody failed the first time they try to commit suicide, we'll try to give them some help. But we're not going to be trying to punish people. We don't know why people want to do crack. They do. And if we really want to know, ask them. They might tell us. And if we really care, we might do something about it. So that's what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen. We got to get this act together. We got to get our act together. I want you to know that we got to take the power out of not just the white man's hand. We got to take the power not just out of the black man's hand. We got to take the power not just out of the man's hand. We got to take the power not just out of the woman's hand. We got to take the power not just out of the young folks' hand or the old folks' hand. We got to take the power out of everybody's hand and put that power in God. The reason we have to take the power out of everybody's hand, because anybody that got one iota of power over you, they will abuse it. It doesn't matter if it's your parents or your children. It doesn't matter if it's your husband or your spouse. If you got 1 inch of power over another, you potentially will abuse it. You potentially will abuse it. And given the right circumstance, you will abuse it. And so God don't want you to be threatened by anybody. He doesn't want a wife to be threatened by her husband, or a husband being threatened by his wife, or children being threatened by the parents, or the parents being threatened by one shade of people, threatened by another shade of people. God didn't want all of that. But when you give power, power will be somebody. They used to say, give too much power, you're going to abuse it. No, too much power is 1 iota of power over somebody else. How many times have you heard a husband tell a wife, get out? Now, they've been together for a while. Where the hell is she going? Get out. So she either got to go get out, go through whatever people have to go through who get caught in a situation like that. Or she got to bow down and say, okay. And vice versa with a man, same thing. Let a woman have some power over him. She'll do the same thing. Slapping, anything. Do anything. Just because they got that little power. But when you can do this, when God has freed you, and you rely on God's universal love happening naturally in the system that you have set up and established, your needs, your wants, your desires are going to be met. You're never going to have to worry about food, clothing, shelter, education, and health care. You're never going to have to worry about a career. You're never going to have to worry about a life. You got that. And if you're sharing your life with anybody, a man or a woman and a woman and a man, if you're sharing your life with anyone, it's because you definitely want to. It ain't because no other precious whatsoever. It's because you want to. And if you decide that you don't want to anymore, that's your decision. That's your decision alone. But usually in a situation like this where everybody's usually satisfied, nobody's looking for somebody else. They're satisfied with what they got. Ain't nobody trying to be jealous because they got what they want. Lord have mercy. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I definitely wanted to clear that up. I definitely want all you individuals who got somebody that you can't stand because they exert power over you in such a way that it just pisses you off. Maybe you owe them some money. And you don't want to owe them any money, but you broke. They trusted that you would pay them back, and you definitely was honest when your plan. Hey, but the same thing that got you broke kept you broke. And that's reality. But God comes to free you from the power absent the love of God. And here in America, I'm trying to say this, listen to me good. When you go to the polls in November, you're going to have for your choice. Power, absent the love of God, you're going to have the Republicans, and you know, I mean, you already know that they are absent the love of God, because their leader, you don't even have to look at the people. You don't even have to look at the church folks that go there. You don't have to look at the black folks that go there, that's under that banner. You don't have to look at any of those folks that go under that banner. All you got to do is look at the leader. And everybody that's following him, you know exactly where they're at, and you know exactly where they're going. Thank you very much. That's a big pound of evil. But that don't mean now that you found a whole bunch of evil in the Republican Party that you can turn to the Democrat. The only difference between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party is the Republican Party running a sprint to hell, and the Democratic Party trying to run a quarter mile. That's all. That's all. I guess there might be a difference between the two. So that's basically what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you know something better, if you want something better, if you think you deserve something better, then you got to be the instrument of something better. You got to be a tool that is used to advocate and bring into being, bring out of faith that which is exactly what you want. And when you do that, that's because you're led by the Spirit of God. And if that's what you want, when you go to those polls, when they say who you want for president of the United States, you write your name in. Who you want for vice president, write your name in. Who you want for senator of your state, if that's up, write your name in. Who you want for the House, if your state is up, write your name in. Why are you writing your name in? Because you recognize that there's a different way, a better way. And you have made the choice that the powers that have been operating since we've been in this earth don't know what it is, can't know what it is, and if they did, they wouldn't do it. And so we're going to accept the power of a spirit we can't see. And we're going to give that power life. And we're going to let that power live in us. And we're going to serve that power to us so that our peace and prosperity and freedom and joy of life and the fulfillment of our dreams might be made whole. And I want to thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, one other freedom that I haven't been talking about that much is individual freedom. And every last one of you deserve it if you trust in God.